good to see you again.
It's so good to see you.
You too. Are you all Impractical Jokers fans? Yeah! Yes, I love it. So am I.
I was gonna say, like, anytime that you're like at an event, or maybe if it's just like a random Saturday, are you always scared that there might be like a prank pulled on you?
I'm scared right now. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen to me at any point. For a long time, I got married about 1.5 years ago. For a long time, I thought that my wedding was a prank. And I thought they were gonna reveal that Melissa was not, she was just an actress they hired or something, because she's way hotter than I am.
Ask if like your love of science added into the eating spaghetti upside down prank.
That it came from that. Do you guys know the NASA punishment where I was supposed to be an astronaut in outer space, and these kindergarten kids were like zooming into the space station, and they had me in a rig, and the camera would rotate with me, so it looked like I was floating, but it was actually just upside down on Earth, and they made me eat spaghetti spilling all. I basically waterboarded myself in the punishment. Yeah.
In a delicious way.
Yeah.
Is Dr. Frank involved in
Dr. Frank is not involved in the punishment, no.
Does he appear in this upcoming season?
He is in the that's not in my punishment. So I gotta phrase this carefully again. The actress Jillian Bell was a guest on an episode, and it was Sal's punishment, and he had to be on a panel, like a medical anomalies panel. So one couple, the guy had a vitiligo, another couple had something else, and Sal's condition that he didn't know about until he walked out there was that he was born with extremely small nuggets, you know? And at one point, Dr. Frank comes out behind a curtain and testifies on behalf of a medical doctor that they are the smallest nuggets he's ever felt in his life. It's great fun. This is what I do for a living.
Now we have Dr. Testimony.
I'm a 45-year-old man.
Okay, so you mentioned that this season they're utilizing, these special celebrity guests. Is there anyone that you are most looking forward to working with this season?
Yeah, I mean, in the new season, we do have Colin Jost, we have Rob Riggle, Method Man, Chris Jericho, if you guys are wrestling fans. The Chris Jericho punishment is crazy. It's so fun. Thank God it wasn't against me. And then we're starting to shoot season 10 in a few weeks. So season 9 starts June 16th, and then season 10. And we announced last week Fatone was filming After Party, the show we do after Jokers, and Fatone's the host of it. And we gave him a giant check. He's going to be on an entire episode, and he's going to be the one getting punished at the end of it. So, we're going to torture him.
I love it so much. What is it like for you being, just in a random hotel, putting on the television, and on any given day, your show is always on?
We basically own a TV network. Yeah. I don't have cable, so I can't watch my own show. So whenever I go to a hotel, I turn on the TV, it's always on. We're on 37 hours a day, that's a fact. Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask about your love for murder mystery games. I see this is something that your wife and you you play on Instagram Live and stuff.
We do all the time. Well, I'm a huge horror buff and murder mystery buff. You guys know I write books? Has anyone read any of my books? 2 people? There's 300 people here, only 2? Did you like it? All right. I've written 7 horrors or thrillers. And the first one I wrote hit #1 on the international bestseller list. It's like my other love is writing. And so I've got 7 thrillers out, including a children's action thriller series. And then I have 4 more coming out in the next 2 years. I love murder mysteries and horror and thrillers. So my wife and I, we belong to 2 different murder mystery subscription services. So you get them once a month, they mail it to you. And what we do, we start it, we have 2 bottles of wine, we start playing the game, and then 2 hours later, I end up going live on Instagram, but I'm 2 bottles of wine in, trying to reveal who we think the murderer is. And we're maybe 80% right, but we're also 100% drunk, Yeah.
And that's so fun. Do you have a favorite character from Clue?
From the movie?
Sure.
Or the game?
Both.
Well, what's his name? The lead in Clue, Tim Curry. Tim Curry's one of the best actors of our generation, man. He was amazing.
And okay, before we go to the audience, I wanted to mention one of your newest books. It's Area 51 Interns.
Oh, yeah.
What's the genre of that book?
That is a middle grade children's book series. It's about a group of kids, somewhere between their 8th and 9th grades, and their parents just so happen to work at Area 51, and it's Take Your Kids to Work Day. So this group of kids, 4 best friends, go into high school, sounds familiar? They go to work with their parents, and all heck breaks loose, all the adults get kidnapped, and it's up to these 4 kids to save the day. So the first book came out like 2-3 weeks ago. It's called Area 51 Interns. The second book comes out in October, and the third book comes out in March of next year. It's a great series for younger folks.
You're a busy man. How do you find the time?
I love what I do. That's it.
Okay.
I think it's when you love what you do and you have a deadline, you hit it. So.
Fair enough. So, we do have a microphone that's set up right over there. Whatever questions you guys might have, I don't think anything's off limits here today.
Nothing's off limits.
Great. So whatever questions you guys have for Murr, now is your chance to ask them.
Don't touch it. Okay. So hey, James.
Don't touch it.
Yeah, I'm learning as you go. Okay. So first off, thanks for all you guys do. It's very entertaining.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So I love the punishment where you're dressed as Dracula.
Yeah.
But I gotta know for you, what was like the worst?
Hold on a second. Are they here? Can you sit up here? Can you come up? Come. Is there a way you get on stage?
Oh my gosh.
Come, join.
Okay, if we want to get
Figure out how to get on
we'll
stage.
have someone-
Or step in the light. How cool is this? Right? Can you do my dance? Can you do the Dracula dance? Come on. Yeah. How cool is that? Very good. They dress like that normally. It had nothing to do with the TV show. Yeah. Okay, sit down. God.
So, what was the worst part of that punishment for you?
The worst part was that there's some punishments I can kind of figure out, like I have a good sense of what's going to happen. That one, there's no way to figure it out. So first they say I'm going to do a Dracula monologue. So in my mind, I'm trying to remember Dracula from high school reading, right? I'm like, okay, there's Van Helsing. I'm trying to remember these details. And then when the curtain opens up, there's a whole gospel choir. So the punishment had nothing to do with Dracula, which is insane. Sometimes we come up with those punishments, like, you guys ever see that one where Sal and Q lost and we put them in a room that was like 120 degrees and they had a cold call numbers trying to sell them a turquoise ring? It's so bizarre. Like, no, it makes no sense. It's like the Danica McKellar punishment, right? They grease me up, I'm naked, I have a little American flag Speedo, my nipples are out, right? And they say I have to compete in a bodybuilding competition. And I can hear the sounds of bodybuilding competition in the next room, and this guy's lifting weights. So that alone is so embarrassing, right? So I'm walking, and the split second before I turn the handle to walk in the room, I said to myself, what if there's a reversal? What if it's something that different that I think? But I never in a million years could have imagined it was Danica McKellar, my high school crush from the Wonder Years, And I walk in, she looks gorgeous, and my nipples pointed straight out. It was so embarrassing. Yeah.
Awesome, thanks, bud.
You got it.
You're mentioning, you're getting ready to do the bodybuilding competition, getting warmed up. I saw you warming up back there. You're pretty limber. I think you're in like a full split.
As you guys were saying, I'm in the back. I'm like doing I'm like frickin' doing this. I gotta say limber, Yeah.
All right, guys, we have time for plenty more. Oh, there we go. What's your name?
Hello.
My name's Parker.
Hi, Harper.
My question is, what is the worst punishment you ever had to do?
The worst punishment I ever had to do.
Am I on the screen? Oh my god, is it the ferret tattoo?
Can you zoom? Where's that camera back there? Is that being controlled by somebody? Can that zoom in?
There we go.
I've got a ferret skydiving on my leg. What's going on?
Okay, let me awkwardly put my pants on.
I love how we don't know what to do right now. We're like, do we talk? Do we laugh? What do we do?
I promise you a show. It's worse. It could be worse. I could have Jaden Smith on my leg, which is what Sal has.
Or 2 of them, right?
Yes, Sal has 2 Jaden Smith tattoos. What an idiot.
Do you have another tattoo? Did you get one at Spooky Empire? The one on your finger?
I did.
Can you share with us?
Do you know the story?
Yes.
I can't say. I have a little teeny tattoo on my finger. It looks like half a heart. And my wife got one on her finger too, so presumably it makes a heart, but it doesn't. My wife, I gotta phrase this a certain way. When you put our fingers together, it resembles a male genitalia. I've got the nuggets, she's got the other one. I can't say the word, I can't say it. You figured out the joke out.
Are they Sal's?
What was that?
What? Are they Sal's? What's your name?
My name is Elsie,
Hi, Elsie.
and I was wondering if you still had the wig made of Q's hair.
I do. I can't show it here. It was on set the other day, and you're not gonna be able to see my phone. I don't think we can zoom in that far, but we still have the wig. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's so ratty. It's 6 years old now, and we were never once allowed to wash it, so it's still to this day reeks of pot and whiskey, which is Q's natural state. I still got it. The wig cost $10,000 to make. Yeah. All that, and they couldn't get out pot and whiskey. Wash the damn thing. Yeah.
Great question.
Hello.
What's your name?
My name's Logan. Remember me from yesterday with a damn poster?
I do. Nice to see you again, buddy.
So, I have a question about Damned. What is the most embarrassing part about that movie for you?
So, the fact that you're asking me in front of 300 people. So he's referring to when I graduated college, my father said, congrats, if you'd like, I'll buy you like a cheapo Ford Taurus for like $6,000. I said, no, Dad, I don't want the car, save the money. Instead, give me the money to make a short film. I wanted to be a filmmaker, right? So I should have taken the damn car, right? So I made this short film called Damned, and it was so bad. It was the worst piece of junk ever. But the joke is on everyone, because then the guys used it against me on the TV show and showed the movie, and the network put it on their website, and to date, 4 million people have watched that stupid movie. All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
You've made it. You've made it.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Hi, I'm Darcy.
Hi, Darcy.
So my friend had tickets to see you guys in Des Moines a few years ago.
Okay.
Took me along, and I had not heard of your show before. And so I loved seeing you all live.
Thank you.
Then a few months later, I'm going down to Florida, and I'm in the airport, and there is a man sitting with a woman at like a restaurant bar kind of area right before getting on the plane. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is the guy that I just saw live a few months ago. And so I went up to him and I said, you know, are you James Murray? And he's like, no. And I'm like, are you swear? Because you look exactly like him. And he's like, from what? And I'm like, Impractical Jokers.
Oh.
And he says, what's that about? And so then I'm explaining, well, you
Was
know,
it actually
they
me?
played pranks.
Was it
No,
actually me?
you
Because I
haven't.
do that joke all the time.
I
I do. You look like Murr. I was like, what's a Murr? They're like, no, from Impractical Jokers. I was like, I've never heard of it. What's that? I do it
I
all the
took
time.
a selfie with you, and I was wondering, I swear it's really you. Can
I
show it
see?
to you? Yeah.
Please.
Yes.
Let us confirm.
I do that joke all the time. Let me see. It better not be a joke. Like, that's not me. It looks like you took a photo with a stranger. You weirdo. Actually, it looks a little bit like me. I get, not all bald guys look alike, lady. That's racist. It's not me.
So yeah, that
It's
was
not
my
me.
question. I was
That is a
wondering if you
handsome
did
guy,
that
though.
to people.
That's all you wanted to ask, because if that's me, it's very funny. It's very funny to me. No, it's not me.
I swear, I still tell people, it's got to be him.
It's not me.
Thank
Well,
you.
now you've met the real Murr, so.
Yeah, well, here, give me your phone. Come here. There you go. Now you get the real thing. You get the real thing. Okay, I'm taking selfies with everyone. Everyone line up. I'm kidding. No. Hello.
What's your name?
My name's Katie.
You saw me earlier. I was freaking out.
I remember you freaking out.
I gotta know, what is your favorite punishment you went through?
My favorite punishment that I went through or that I gave to somebody else?
That you went through.
Oh, that I went through. There's only been a few times on the show that my knees have literally buckled from laughing, and one of the times was the Novocaine punishment. The guys injected me with 180 milliliters of Novocaine, which is the legal limit. Like, when you get your wisdom teeth pulled out, they use like half that. So I was numb for 8 hours, and I am now allergic to Novocaine because of that punishment. And when I was, what was so funny to me was that as I was doing the presentation, I could hear my speech getting worse and worse, and I pride myself on my good diction. I'm the only Joker that doesn't have a thick New York accent, you know? And so as it got worse in my head, I started laughing more and more, and my knees shook, and I collapsed behind the table. So I'm very proud of that.
You're really allergic to Novocaine now?
I am. They can't use Novocaine. Yeah, the dentist just slaps me. Yeah, I break out in hives and start sneezing. Yeah. Hello.
My name is Austin. Hi there, James Murray from Impractical Jokers.
Hello, Austin.
I just
from
wanted to
Kansas City.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask, tea or coffee?
Oh, is that it? You want to go get some? Is that what you're asking me?
No. Well, I mean, if you want to, but
you ready for this? I have never in my life tasted coffee. Not a single time. Yeah, no, I don't drink caffeine at all. Yeah. But I'm not tea either. I don't know. I'm a cold beverage guy. Yeah. It's not worth applause. It's like, yeah. But thanks. Good question, buddy.
All right, thank you. See ya.
Have you tried any of these like new, unique Coca-Cola flavors?
I do. I order by the pallet. Coke Energy, Cherry Coke Energy.
Have you tried like the one that's supposed to taste like space?
No, the what are they called?
What was it?
Starlight.
Yes.
I haven't tasted it yet. No.
It tastes like a Faygo, like Red Pop, right?
What is Faygo? Is that a word?
Faygo?
Is that a known word?
Well,
you can't say that anymore. It's a joke. I don't know what the
you've
joke
never
is.
been to the gathering. We'll have to take you. All right.
Yes, hello.
What's your name?
My name is Donald.
Hi, Don. How are you? I'm gonna laugh about that later.
My question is, like, what do you think is the most, like, painful punishment you've ever gone through?
Oh, good question. I did mention the adult toy one. The most painful. Oh, goodness. Let me think. Oh, yeah, of course. What am I thinking? Well, yes. I mean, you've all witnessed me getting 3 prostate exams on live TV. It is strange, by the way, that everyone in this audience has seen me naked. That's unique. Yeah, I would say the prostate exam. I've gotten 3 of them. And then there was an episode where they had a doctor put a catheter inside me. Then they made me zip line while holding my catheter. And then they had my fiance, I was 2 weeks from getting married, she's a nurse, they had her take it out of me. Which is not something I ever thought my wife would do, you know? That was pretty painful. I appreciate you reminding me of those.
Well, I guess good for you.
I'm getting sassed by Donald. Hello.
What's your name?
Hi, I'm Allison.
Hi, Allison.
Hi. I was just wondering if there was a joke that looking back you thought went too far or that you wouldn't have done.
Yeah.
How far can that zoom in?
How far can that zoom in? Can you see that? My driver's license has no eyebrows. I've got no eyebrows on my driver's license. It is a 10-year punishment. I cannot renew my license until 2024. I look like Lex Luthor's you know what. It's so embarrassing. I look like I belong on a milk carton. I look like a baked potato going through a divorce.
Was that something that you think that they thought of before giving you the punishment? You would have to have it for 10 years?
No, that was close to too far because Not everything grows back well anymore, you know? So who knows if my eyebrows are gonna grow back? It took 3 months for my eyebrows to grow back, and a week after we filmed that, I was my nephew's confirmation sponsor in church. And so I go down to Virginia to visit my family. I'm standing in front of a church of like 500 people. They all know the show, they all recognize me, but I had not a wisp of hair on my eyebrows. So I'm supposed to defend my nephew against Satan. I look like Satan. Yes.
What's your name?
Hi, I'm Dakota.
Hi, Dakota.
I just wanted to ask kind of a follow-up question. So, what did your wife first think of the skydiving ferret tattoo?
She liked, it's grown on me. Like, I love it now. It's so weird because, like, if I get a massage or something, there's 2 things that happen, right? Either the massage therapist doesn't know the show and she sees the tattoo and starts to giggle, or she knows the show, sees the tattoo, and starts to giggle. So I'm just being laughed at by strangers my whole life. She likes it, you know. There you go. Okay, next question. Hello.
Come on down. What's your
Howdy.
name?
My name's Sean. My question was, what was your favorite scene from the Impractical Jokers movie?
Oh, I'll tell you 2 answers to that. So, I think the best scene of the Joker's movie, did anybody see the movie? Yeah! That punishment at the end is real. I flew outside of an airplane for an hour. It was so dangerous, you can't really do it, right? It was so dangerous that they took a $15 million life insurance policy out of me in case I died doing it. And the only way they would insure the movie is if we filmed that punishment on the final day of shooting. That way, if I died doing it, they could still release the movie! Anybody here work for an insurance company? If so, F you. I would say the best scene in the movie is Sal in the hotel room with the 600-pound white Bengal tiger, you know? And then I think the funniest, like, 30 seconds of Impractical Jokers, if one day my grandkids are like, what was that TV show Grandpa was on? I would show them this 30 seconds. There was a scene where the 4 of us are playing receptionist in a waiting room, and Joe is behind the reception desk, like, sitting on one of those, like, bouncy balls for, like, good posture. And we said, Joe, go to sit on the ball and fly off it, and knock the garbage pail over. So he flies, hits the garbage pail over, a half-eaten sandwich flies out of the garbage, he picks it up and starts going nom 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 nom. Q laughs so hard, he throws up. The sound of Q throwing up makes Sal throw up as well. Meanwhile, I was just eating lo mein the whole time. Best 30 seconds of the show ever.
Thank you so much.
And how do you feel about Paula Abdul?
She was amazing to work with. I mean, dream come true. I mean, home run.
Hello, we did, and I'm like freaking out a little bit. My name's Maddie.
Hi, Maddie.
I'm also just kind of freaking out because I saw you went to Fermilab, and I'm actually an astrophysicist, so
Oh,
I'm like...
are you?
Yeah.
Are we living in a simulation or not?
No, I don't think so, but I only have my bachelor's, so...
They don't teach you that until you get your PhD?
That's a PhD.
Got it.
So my question is also kind of like the tea and coffee. Do you have a favorite Disney princess, and why?
Well, I mean, you know.
It doesn't have to be
Princess Jasmine is kind of hot. I mean, yeah. I'd like to be Aladdin.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Random questions. What are we really learning today? Nothing.
But Ariel's awesome too.
Yeah.
All right, what's your name?
I'm Trish. I'm the one that gave you the magnet of yourself.
Oh yeah, thank you, I have it. Thanks.
You're welcome. What, did you have a prank that was just your idea that you had on anybody?
Oh, very good. A prank that was purely mine? Like a punishment, you mean?
Yeah. Like that you thought of against somebody else.
Interesting.
To punish.
So, yes, but it's secret. I will tell it, but everyone right hand up in the air. Is this being broadcast somewhere?
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know. Don't tell this anybody, okay? Good question.
What's your name?
I'm Steven.
Hey, Steven, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. I saw you twice yesterday, once on the floor, once on
Good to
photo
see you
ops.
again.
So my question is, going in on the first day of shooting ever from Practical Jokers, what were you thinking?
Wow, really good question. I've never been asked that question before. So, I'll tell you 2 stories. The guys that I didn't get on TV to were 35 years old, right? Or 34. A month before we sold Impractical Jokers, one network president told us directly to our faces that we were too old for TV. So as Joe would say, that guy could go suck it, right? And then another network president told us that we weren't ready for TV. And here we are, 12 years later, 300 episodes, a movie, a cruise, a tour, to hell with them all, right? But I remember when we got the pilot from Impractical Jokers, we were thrilled, but that was our third pilot. We had sold a show to A&E, a comedy show, shot a pilot, didn't go to series. We shot a sketch comedy show for Spike TV, shot the pilot, didn't go to series. So by the time Jokers came around, we were kind of at a crossroads. We could have easily given up, for sure. And I was working in TV development at the time. My job for many, many years was to sell TV shows. So over the course of like 10 years of working at the company, I'd kind of risen up in my career TV development. And I got intel that Hidden Camera was coming back. So the guys and I got together in Joe and I's apartment, and I said, guys, I think I can sell a Hidden Camera show if we come up with the idea. So we came up with the idea for Jokers, which is like an upside down prank show where the joke's on us instead of the public. And then we shot the sales tape, and so we had a choice going into the pilot. We could have chosen, we had two networks offering to buy the show. MTV, but they wanted, and the money was the same on both the networks. MTV wanted the show, but they wanted just the idea of the show, and they wanted to recast us with the younger guys. But they also wanted to make it a game show 5 days a week. So in TV, if you sell it, they call it a strip show. It's 5 days a week, a daily show, right? When you sell a strip show to a network, it's big money. It could be, because they could order 50, 60, 70 episodes at a time, because they air it every day. So the potential for success on MTV, financial success, could have been greater on paper. True TV wanted the four of us instead, and said, we want to put you on TV. And so it was a real tough choice, because we were all regular guys. Q was a fireman, very happy being a fireman. He was 8 years on the department at that point. Sal owned a bar. Joe was a successful personal shopper at a baby store. And then I worked in TV development. So we all had regular jobs. And I remember that distinctly, like we had a choice. And I remember driving out to Staten Island, going to Q's firehouse with the True TV contract and saying to him, I was like, buddy, if this works, this could change our lives. We could be stars. And talked the guys into it, and we signed the deal, and now that's what happened with our life. But I remember the first day of shooting, I don't think we knew what the show was. The first challenge we shot was us eating food off people's plates. Second day of shooting was, I think, us dancing in front of strangers in the park. Third day of shooting was Costco, which is the first time we wore an earpiece. And we did the Costco challenge. That's when we realized that's the show. The show is being told what to say and do, and whether you can do it or not, and you know that what your limits are. And that's when it all kind of clicked. And the other memory I have is the first day the show premiered. The show premiered a year and a half after we sold it, December 15th, 2011. It first came on TV. And that night, I remember distinctly the four of us in a circle as the show was about to air. It was like 9:58, and we shared a moment, like after 11 years of trying to get on TV, 11 years after college of performing for crowds as little as 2 people sometimes in New York City. In that moment, the show could have been canceled the next day because the ratings would have sucked, and that would have been the end of the story. But in that moment, we were going to be on TV for the first time. And I remember like tears streaming down our faces that we had finally made it. Like, even if it got canceled the next day after the first pilot episode, no one could take away from us that we got a show on TV on our own terms, and we did it our way. It was such a great feeling, man. What a great day. There you go.
Thank you.
Was it always going to be called Impractical Jokers, or were there alternatives?
No, the original name of the show was Mission Uncomfortable. Yeah. And the network changed it to Impractical Jokers, and I have a great video from day one of the day the network told us the name of the changed name. I have a video of Sal reacting to it when he heard the name. He freaked out because the word impractical is not an easy word. And the show plays around the world. The show plays in 130 countries, but in many countries, they, in addition to playing the American version, they also recast us and shoot it from scratch with a new cast. But the word impractical does not translate well in other languages. So in other countries, in Belgium, the show is called Verterveerden. Excuse my language. What it translates to is 4 dicks. And in Holland, I won't translate this one, you can figure this one out. In Holland, the show is called 2 words, two words, fuckers. I'll let you figure out the translation for that.
Got it. Thank you.
Fukkers.
Love it.
Yeah.
What's your name?
My name is Jack.
Hey, buddy.
My question is, has there ever been a punishment that you or any of the other Jokers have thought of that made you start questioning their or your sanity?
What a crazy question. That's a bizarre question. I'll tell you a challenge that never got on TV that made us question what we were doing. We had this idea. You know how like parents who like baby talk their kids, like, oh, go, gaga, whatever. So we had this idea to go to a children's park and go up to parents with their children and start baby talking the kids. And then you have to start baby talking the parent and try to get them to baby talk back to you. We did it for like 20, 30 minutes, and needless to say, the SWAT team got called on us. Because guess what happens when 4 middle-aged men without children of their own start acting weird in children's park? They almost shut the TV show down that day. It was great. It was a great time. I questioned my sanity that day.
Was there ever a prank that you enjoyed? Punishment?
Yeah, a punishment I enjoyed?
Yes.
The prostate exam. I'm kidding. It's a joke. I'm kidding. A punishment I enjoyed. I think punishment I enjoyed. Yes. Do you ever see the punishment where they made me give a technology speech in front of like 300 people, and the microphone had 2 different gases underneath it. One was helium, the other was sulfur hexafluoride. So my voice was going up and down and up and down. I thought it was so much fun, and they had it right off camera. You can probably see the person on camera. They had 2 EMTs working right there because there was a very real possibility that I might black out and die. Because I'm not breathing oxygen, right? I'm screwing with my body. And so we did not know how, and there were a few times that I had to step away because I was getting so lightheaded from the extremes of the gases in my body. So but it came out great. Yeah.
All right. Thank you,
that.
Impractical Jokers, Murr.
You're welcome, Bobby Bay.
Bobby Bay? What's your name?
My name is Marshall Patterson.
Hello, Marshall Patterson. What's your question, buddy?
What's your favorite superhero, super villain?
Oh, super villain? Oh, well, I'm old school. I'm old school Superman, Christopher Reeve. So, Lex Luthor from the Christopher Reeve movies, Gene Hackman, was, so good and so maniacal, How about you? What's your favorite?
Either Green Goblin or Hobgoblin.
Green Goblin's amazing. The new Spider-Man is so darn good. It's the best Spider movie ever made. I cried.
I mean the comic version, though.
Oh, okay. All right.
Way to go, Murr.
I look like an idiot. Well, here you go. I like that too.
Great question.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello.
What's your name?
My name is Keegan.
Hi, Keegan.
My question is there a punishment that you've pulled on another Joker that you thought went too far?
No, the one that I love, that I think went exactly the right amount of far, was we were filming a challenge in New York City, and while filming, we made Sal climb up onto a statue and grab the statue's nose. True story. Like a month later, a letter comes into our office from the Department of Homeland Security, asking us to explain what the hell we did, because that is a federal monument. People reported it, and they said, "Explain yourself. You could get fined. You could go to jail." So we didn't tell Sal that we wrote a response explaining the TV show. They waved it off and they let it go. We didn't tell Sal that. For a year, we kept having letters arrive from Homeland Security to the office. Same letterhead, same style, and it finally led up to a year later, Sal getting called into a deposition in a government office. He thought it was in front of Homeland Security. So he goes in, and they put him through the ringer. That is, he could go to jail, fined $100,000, and it was all a long prank on the show. Perfect amount of time. It's perfect. There you go.
All right, thank you.
You got it.
What's your name?
Hi, my name's Megan.
Hi, Megan.
First, thank you, because my dad and I record the show and watch it all the time.
Oh, that's
together.
great. Thank you.
My question might be like a little bit weird, and you might have to think about it. Sometimes I do, but what is the first job that you dreamed of having when you were like a kid?
Oh, wow, good question. I think I always wanted to be a comedian. From when I was young, I was in like like the school plays in grammar school, and I remember making people laugh distinctly and loving that feeling. And I was like the funny kid in school, and I think that was probably my first love. But then I also loved science. I also loved architecture. So in other universes, I live those types. But how about you? What is your what do you think you were gonna be, and what are you?
When I was little, I wanted to be a police officer, but then as I was 4 years old, I didn't realize that they tended to sometimes have bad things happen to them. So I was like, just kidding, I'll be a vet.
Yeah.
And now I'm a daycare teacher. So.
Hey, very good career. There you go. Very good. Very good.
I like thinking about these Murrs in the multiverse and what they're doing
the
as well.
The multi-Murverse. Yeah.
The Murtoverse. All right, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Jason.
Hey, buddy.
And first off, 3 things. 1, Tobey Maguire's the best Spider-Man.
Anybody
else know that?
It's tricky. Let me think about this.
Should we take a vote?
Hold on. Tobey Maguire from Spider-Man 1 and 2, I'll give you. Yeah. Tobey Maguire from Spider-Man 3 was terrible.
It was a toss-up. That one I get.
Okay, but I'm also friends with Tom Holland, so I'm a little biased. That being said, Andrew Garfield stole this movie, The Far From Home. No, stole it. And he deserves another amazing Spider-Man movie, don't you think? Yes! He deserves it. He stole the movie, man. So good.
Yeah. 2, I went through a really hard time, and you and the rest of the Jokers got me through it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
And 3, I hope you remember this.
What is it?
It's the ferret.
Is it the ferret?
Yes, it is.
Do I look? Can I see it?
Yeah.
Do I look like a ferret? I see the same hairline. There you go. Yo, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
But my question is.
Oh, you have. I forgot. What's your question?
The question is, what was going through your mind when you were on that panel when you couldn't hear anything and you had to answer a bunch of questions?
That was somebody asked before if there was any idea that was purely mine. That was actually my idea, the punishment. I was trying to, a lot of times what we do in Jokers is try to figure out how to add something or take something away to make something more difficult, right? So like, you ever see us with the blacked out sunglasses and the guys are telling us where to go and it's what to say, but we don't know who we're saying it to because we can't see through the sunglasses. That's an example where, okay, what happens if with a regular challenge if you take away the guy's sight? So for years I was trying to crack the code of how can we take away a guy's hearing so he doesn't know the questions he's being asked and he has to answer whatever the guys say. It took me 4 years to crack the code on how to do it. And eventually we figured out that we could pump white noise in and the kind of setup it should be and what panel it should be. And it was a bizarre feeling because I was on the panel listening to the earpiece, but I couldn't hear anything else. And when the punishment ended, I had no idea what had just happened. And the guys, Joe and Q and Sal said, Murr, it's hysterical, you'll see. And I left set uneasy. We filmed at the Liberty Science Center a year ago. And I left set so uneasy because I didn't know what had happened. And then when I saw the edit of the punishment, my answers didn't make any sense to the questions. It was freaking hysterical. I was like, yes, it worked. There you go.
Thank you.
You got it, buddy.
Hi, my name is Allison.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I have 2 questions.
Hit me.
So one, when you were on the panel and you couldn't hear anything.
Yes.
Why did the word Canada come to mind? Out of all the other words in the English language, why Canada?
I'll tell you why. That was a comedic choice. In comedy, there are 2 things that work, right? Something that's very, very specific works, or something that's very vague, if you go the other spectrum, could work. Like if you're overly vague and you're skirting around something, that could work comedically. But in that situation, it was a conscious choice. I knew that they were prompting me, I could anticipate that they were prompting me for something that I needed to say something specific as a response. So I chose the most specific random thing I could, which is Canada. And it worked great. It was a comedic choice.
Okay. And my second question, is Sal actually terrified of Benjamin Cat?
Yes. When Sal was a kid, he was scratched in the face by a kitten, and he's been irrationally afraid of cats ever since. But now he's 45. Like, get over it, man. Grow a pair.
Okay, thank you.
You got it.
We got a few minutes left. What's your name?
Hi, my name's Seth.
Hey, buddy.
My question is, what were some of the funniest things you guys did, like in high school, before the Impractical Jokers?
Oh, wow. We were good kids. We didn't like do crazy stuff, but we did, our high school did it. Well, I mean, the way I met Joe Gatto was in freshman year religion class, Ms. Fiducia's religion class, and as the teacher would walk up and down the aisles teaching the Beatitudes, he would drop his nose on her elbow to make us laugh. That's how I met him, was him nosing the teacher, right? But we had Vermin Day in school, where one day all the students would just bring in rodents, and the whole school would be flooded with rodents of various kinds. That kind of stuff. We went to an all-boys Catholic high school, so there's a lot of hijinks going on, you know? There you go. Vermin
I
Day.
also kind of had sort of another question.
Sure.
So when you autographed the picture, on the bottom it said Larry with an exclamation mark.
Yes.
What? Like, I'm kind of like, I don't know what that is. Like.
What? Guys, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Larry! It's Larry. We're looking for him.
Oh yeah, I didn't see him on paper, and I was like, "Who's that?"
I thought your name was Larry.
All right, we have time for one or two more. What's your name?
Hi, Murr. My name is Paul Kim from Korea.
Hey, buddy. I'm Murr from Staten Island.
Yeah. My family and I watch Impractical Jokers all the time. First, thanks for making us laugh.
Thank you.
Times when any one of us are are having a bad day. But also watching Sal and Q in particular, we feel better about our own lives.
I'm going to tell him you said that.
Please do. Paul Kim.
Yeah. Guys, it could always be worse. You could be Sal.
A couple of questions. One, I think I've watched the Tumblr punishment 1,000 times.
Like a boss? Yeah.
Yes, like a boss.
Yeah.
First, did you ever reconcile with that Tumblr employee in front of you?
No, it is far worse than you realize. We had to cut a lot out. The guy in front of me in the Tumblr punishment, where I was being a jerk, it got so tense that I legit thought he was going to turn around and punch me in the face. It got way tenser than it seems on TV. We had to cut those tense parts out because I thought it might come across too mean, you know what I mean? So it was even worse in reality than you would think.
Oh.
But that guy's dead now, so I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's a joke. He's not dead. He's dead to me.
So I totally apologize, but we're at time.
Oh, okay. Well, before we go, if you guys, I want to do two things. First, just a moment to tell you this. As I mentioned, the guys and I did not get on TV till we were 35 years old. We were told so many times in our life that you'll never make it, you can't do it, you can't do it. If any of you out there would like to succeed in creative arts and writing and acting and comedy and whatever you might want to do, or whatever career you choose in your life, don't let anybody tell you no. Do what you love and things will work out for you. If you don't quit, do what you love, and don't let other people limit or define your success for you. And also, we realize that 100% of the past 11 years is not us. We're certainly not talented. We certainly have no skills. We're not handsome at all. We know that all the good things that have happened to us are entirely because of you, and I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart for being the most amazing fans of the world. We love you guys. And the last thing, okay. I want everybody to cheer. I'm just gonna record a video. I'm gonna post it for the con. Okay? I'm gonna say I'm here at Planet City Comicon. Planet City. What's Planet City, right? Okay. So everybody cheer when I turn the camera around. Ready? Hey everybody, it's Murr from Impractical Jokers. I'm here at Planet Comicon in Kansas City with a bunch of fans. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
One more time,